Hello and welcome everyone. So yeah, let's start. All right, I guess we can now start. And today, what we're going to have a look at is our BTC USD trade. So as you guys can see, today our loss seems to be significantly smaller. So last week we had a float PNL of around 350 euro. Now we are back at -50, and I can show you the trade that we have open right now. So as you can see, and let me zoom a bit, to lower time frames. We entered a long position on BTC around this level, and yeah, so since then we went into a flowing loss. But now it seems that the market is recovered, and we're hoping to see some increase in Bitcoin price. So this is the current update on the Bitcoin trade, and it is still going on. I can also open our spreadsheet where we have the list of our trading strategies listed. So 1 second. So this is our spreadsheet, and let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what we have here. So here we have a list of ongoing strategies, and so the ones that are currently ongoing is the US 100 trading bot that we have coded about a month ago. So one second, let me just quickly switch the users, or never mind, I will just edit it later. So we have our US 100 moment trading bot, and we have our DAX breakout trading bot that we recently created, and this is our BTC USD strategy that we have currently going on. One quick second, I just want to add some user permissions so I can actually edit that file, and I'm going to do that now. Alright, so I have used a different Google user, but yeah, let's get back to this one here. So currently we're trading this trading strategy, we're also trading this trading strategy, and this one is currently being developed, so we're coding that right now. And yeah, so the S&P 500 strategy we're going to trade in November, and the XUSD strategy we're going to trade in December. So maybe I can just put this down chronologically. I've already marked these strategies with the magic numbers, so every trade idea has a unique strategy identifier, and theoretically I can put Bitcoin, S&P 500, XAUSD in the same strategy basket because the method here is the same. It is basically analyzing the the behavior of the price during different times of the year, whether, for example, in October, December, and so on, prices tend to rise or fall. And I think it makes actually more sense to put these three strategies in the same basket. So actually I can just color code this. I think we can just use different color codes for different strategies. So this is currently in progress. Okay, so let's now go back to our German DAX breakout trading bot. And maybe I can again start with a quick overview of the strategy, what the strategy is doing. So if we go here to our to our backtest analysis, we see that on the 3rd of October we have written the backtest that has, one second, I've actually accidentally changed the symbol to the S&P 500. So let me run this backtest. Great. So now the backtest is still running, but I think it should be finished now. And if you scroll down, yeah, this is the result of backtest. So we see a nice profit curve. This is our breakout system on the German stock index. And today I was thinking that what we can do is that we can take a strategy that we've created here. So basically, this is the strategy, and we can optimize some of the code, right? So there was a suggestion to unify the time zones, and then also a way to work with the candles that are being saved. And then we will also optimize the strategy logic, because I believe that some of the functions here are can be rewritten so the code is more optimal. And also, one last thing before we do that is I'd like to show you, maybe a visual representation of what the trades look like. So here I have my backtester, and here are the generated trades. So here, if we save the data to JSON, so we can call our function bt.export to JSON, and I am going to export. What am I going to export? I'm going to export DE40 breakout to JSON. And I'm going to also provide indicators, and here the indicators would be the previous session high and the session low. Alright, so hopefully that will work. So if I now export this, object of type time is not JSON serializable. So I think I know where the issue is. And let me quickly check. Actually, it seems to have worked. So this is interesting. Okay, no, so it actually created an export in JSON, but we are still missing the trades. And so for now, let me actually try to just ignore the indicators. And I'm going to do some quick checks. What might be the issue here? So in our backtester class that we have here, what I'm trying to do is I would like to visualize what the trades look on historical data, and here I wrote somewhere a function that exports the data into JSON, and here it is. It seems like I'm trying to, let's have a look again. Hello Martin, nice to see you. How was your weekend? Hello Jack, nice to see you as well. Well, my weekend was pretty nice. Spent time at home mostly, playing games, doing some backtesting. So yeah, it was pretty chill for me. Alpha Profit, nice to have you on the stream. Yeah, so right now, guys, what I'm currently working on is, if you remember, in the past I've written a strategy. It is in projects, and I create a backtest simulator, right? So here, if I run this for you guys, right, so this is a backtest simulator, and I'm basically trying to visualize the strategy for you guys. I'm talking about the DAX Breakout bot, so we can actually see the trades being performed live on this. Seems, yeah, Bitcoin seems to be recovering. It's great. I was a little bit sweating, but no, we just keeping to the plan, and we still have like 3 weeks to go before we close the trade. So anything can basically happen, but it's always nice to see recovering from a small drawdown. Okay, so this is basically just my backtester. So I'm trying to fix something here, so we can apply or use the same tool to actually, visualize the trades on the DE40. And if we go back here, right, and here we have the breakouts analysis. Here I'm trying to call my backtester class, to export that data to JSON, and it seems that, where is it? Yeah, there is a problem with exporting the data to JSON. Right, and what they say is object of type time is not JSON serializable. And I wonder what it could be, because now I'm going through, my old, the Algo training package that we've created, and here this is the function here. So I'm just wondering, what could be the issue, because here, as you can see, I'm converting the time to string, and apparently there might be other objects of type time which I'm not aware of, and I think we could check that. Oh, I think I might know what the issue might be. So the issue is either in trades.copy or OHSC data, and I think what we should do here is we should maybe select only the data that we need, and like actually it might take some time because then I have to update the package on PyPy and so on. Reliable tips. Hello sir, waiting for your guidance. I have 15-year experience in index trend prediction. Your guidance on strategy I sent you will help me to do things in desired manner. Yeah, you have sent me the email, and I apologize for the delay in the response. I've been a little bit busy, with the DE40 strategy, but yeah, I'll try to attend to the matters when I get some time. Because lately I've been streaming for some time, and I've been receiving a lot of emails from you guys, regarding some tips, and all of you guys are actually trying to help me, also work with the code here. And when I'm stuck, I also appreciate your help. So this has been great. But the amount of emails I've been getting has been, increasing quite a bit, and all of you guys come with very interesting strategies, which me, when I don't know anything about that, it requires a bit of time to, really understand what you guys mean and, are trying to explain. So I apologize to anyone who's still waiting for response, and I will try to get to it. Okay, it seems that, unfortunately I'll not be able to export, this JSON file due to some bug, and that is very unfortunate. let me just quickly go through some OHLC data and what might be issue. And I think the issue is with the fact that I'm using the time HMS column here. Somewhere we need in OHLC DF3 we are using time HMS. Which is this one, and I think this column is causing problems with the backtester. And what I can do is maybe I can try to override some of the backtester data. So if we look at bt dot and look at the attribute OHLC data, here we have our saved data in the backtester, and here I can try to override some of the data. So I can try to use drop, because it's a past data frame. I will drop a column which is time HMS. Or I think is column is equal to. So maybe the syntax is like that. Right, and this seems to be working. And now let me try it again. And now we see that actually my export is successful. So I was able to actually pinpoint the exact issue. So as an improvement for my algo trading lib, what I should do is I should filter out only the required data that is inside the OHLC data frame. Otherwise it might cause some issues. So now that our data has been exported, let's have a look at our backtest simulator. So I'm just gonna copy it here. I think what I should do in the future is maybe create some upload feature on the backtest simulator. But now what we can simply do is I can just rewrite this backtest simulator, and here I'm just going to run this simulator, and I'm just going to change DE40 backtest.json. So now let me restart this app. And now we can actually have a look at historical back trades on the DE40. So this chart is the DE40, right? So we're trading the strategy that I've backtested with the breakouts. And actually also I think what would be nice to have is adding the indicators now. So if you remember, the indicators we're using is it's here. So indicators are the previous session high, which is our resistance, and the previous session low, which is our support. So let me export that one more time. And now I'm going to replace the file here, and I'm going to actually now the app is working with it, so I can do so. Let me terminate the file. Now I will export it again. Can I delete backtest breakout.json? It seems that I have some problems. Maybe I think the file was open somewhere. So one more time. All right, so now it's working, and let's run the backtest simulator again. Okay, so now the backtest simulator is working, and here what we see here is the blue line. So first of all, this is the DE40, the German stock index, and whenever price breaks out, and it must be the first break of the session between 9 and 12 a.m., it will enter a long position. And here on the red side we have the previous session low. So here we see that the first trade, for example, was in a profit, so we have a P&L of 48.4. And here we have the trade history, and now we're just looking at an example. So this backtester might take some time, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it a little bit faster. And here we also have a parameter. If I look at the function, it was some time since I've coded this app. So here what we have here, the candle step is equal to let's say I will change the candle step to 5, for example. So candle step is equal to 5. So what it means is that the backtester will now run in 5 candle intervals, so it will just look at the result every 5 candles. So we have a little bit of a faster backtest. So now backtest is running a bit faster, and yeah, it is running since year 2022. So we can just leave it running and see what the result is. So it is basically just taking the data we've exported and visualizing that in this app. I'm just waiting until we find the first trade. So yeah, it still might take some time, but hopefully, yeah, we'll get there eventually. At this rate, we might be sitting for 2 or 3 hours. But maybe we can, just take it slow and have a look at the data. I think oftentimes it helps to, just stare at a chart and see how your strategy actually behaves in the live market, right? So a lot of times we just use pandas, we use Jupyter notebooks and so on, but you will get a real understanding of strategy and how it feels to trade it when you actually look at it. So it's very interesting that this strategy does not generate that many signals. So in the past 2 years that we've backed this strategy, it only generated 90 trades, and so that means that out of 400 trading days, it trades only 50% of the time. And we can have a look at the backtester. Hopefully I won't miss any trade. So between May and July, it's been 4 days. So for example, yeah, 2 months of trades. Here we have April to June, yeah, 2 months of trades. So it is actually, sometimes this strategy doesn't trade at all. Shima asks, what is your goal as ATJ Traders firm? So my main goal is to trade. So I'm planning to, create a collection of algorithms that will trade for me and make money, of course. So this is my ultimate goal. And while on that process, right, while doing that, and because I also lately enjoy streaming now, I would like to share, my journey with you guys. So while I develop these algos, I think that together we can learn more about algo trading and so on. So on the side, it is also partially education and sharing my achievements with you. So I guess that's my ultimate goal. Maybe eventually, I can, like I was thinking about it, like if the strategy will perform well and there will be like very good track record, I can maybe share it on some platforms, as a signal provider. And I've done that. I had some personal success last year. If you remember my London Breakout trading bot, maybe I have some of, actually I think I have something to share. Okay. Recently you guys have been asking me how my training is going and so on, so I have something to share with you guys. I found it. Oh, by the way, guys, so if you remember last week I shared with you a new project I was working on, and I also code trading apps. So I created these 3 apps, and the first one I can show you is the MT5 account evaluator. So what I want to show you guys is the London breakout trading system that I've traded last year. So if I upload this file, so it is a strategy that I have traded on GBP JPY. So what you see here is over the I started trading, when's the last trade, right? The first trade with the GBP JPY I opened in 2023 October. So it's actually been a year I've been trading strategy, and I've been trading this account until June 2024, so almost like 10 months of track record. So I've had some nice success with strategy. So 137 trades, a win rate of 46%, maximum drawdown of 1,660, and a profit $2,500. Right, so I can show you the profit curve here. The strategy seemed to perform worse in the second half, so I decided to re-evaluate strategy. Oh, of course, I'm very sorry about that. I will share the link with you right now. So yeah, this is Trading Labs, and this is the evaluator. So this is one of my strategies I'm trading on GBP/JPY, and yeah, I'm still working on that, right? So I'm not currently in the process of re-evaluating the strategy, how it's been performing, because the performance is actually slightly worse. And I've had my good months and bad months, and my best months was actually in February this year. I think most of the profits were done in a single month. So this is one of the strategies that I'd like to share with you guys. I also have some other reports, and I'm a bit conflicted what I should share and what I should not share. I don't want to create false expectations of my actual trading, because what I'm showing you here on streams are strategies that I'm not afraid to share, right? Because first of all, if it's something like a longer term swing trading strategy, I don't feel like that it can be exploited. But when it comes to short interest strategies where the liquidity is very low, then there is a lot of competition, and that is why some of my strategies are not being shared. Well, sharing that would not be very wise, and I hope for understanding. So yeah, so maybe I can just say for everyone's understanding, so some strategies that are a bit more short term that might have liquidity issues, unfortunately stay with ATJ Traders, and the only thing I can share maybe is the performance at the end of the year, so maybe I can have some credibility that I'm also doing something besides what I'm showing on live stream. And what we're working on the live streams is unfortunately on the strategies that are a bit more longer term, but I can teach you the general methodology and so on. Right, so while we're already in Trading Labs, maybe we can also have a look at the other apps that are here, and more are coming. So I've created this very simple trading app that is actually comparing the spreads between brokers. So currently here I have Blueberry, Vantage, Tickman, IC Markets, who are one of the biggest brokers in the industry, and I've decided to list these brokers, and the green one basically shows the broker with the best spread. I'm still working on the digits and the graphic design, but what it basically means is that you can select the trading hours between 2 and 21 broker time, and that will calculate the average spread for that symbol, right? So I've listed the most important ones, such as Forex, you have Bitcoin, then you have some indices. Seems like I also need to sort it a bit. And then if you're interested in individual symbols, right? For example, if you want USD and you want to check the minimum spread, then this app will show you, the minimum spread for each hour. By the way, disclaimer advantage here, we're using the classic account at the raw spread, so we can actually disregard advantage. So you can see that most brokers here actually have zero spread on Euro USD. So if you want to check out, the spreads of different brokers and see, what broker has the lowest trading conditions in the market, this is an app that you can use, and you can actually find it here. So there's also a link. And then, I've also added, my last app, which is the Monte Carlo simulator. And this is basically just a simulation of, some random outcomes. So this is just something, that I've been coding last month with you, and decided to share that with you. So you guys, can actually have access to that. And with that, I will also add some market analysis dashboards where you can do some market analysis and other things. So this is not done completely by me, right? I actually have a developer who is working on that in the background. I'm working mainly, on the algorithmic trading. So basically I'm trading most of the time, but anything I show on live stream or anything that's interesting or useful for you guys, I will assign it to my developer, and he will be working on the trading applications, so you guys have some added value as well. So here I'm thinking we could add some code base, some trading bots that we have here, and yeah, anything useful that comes to my mind. Okay, let's get back to the trading bot. So I think I've been talking a little bit too much about other things. So now, I've shown you everything that I wanted to share, and yeah, I think it's coding time. So here I'm just going back to initial folder, so you can find this Breakout bot in 2024-10-04, and once this bot is done, I think I will put it into the projects folder with a list of trading bots, right? Here we have a list of trading bots. The trading bots here we can find the US trading strategy, and then I think I will add the Breakout bot here once it's done as well. Okay, so now let's see. So we need to unify the time zones. I think this is the first thing we should start with, and so I think the best thing to do is maybe we should just create a separate file. I think that is the best thing to do. So this file, we are going to create something called, time zone unification MT5. So this is what the file I'm calling. And here are the problems, right? So the problem is MT5 returns OHLC data with input GMT plus 0 and output GMT plus 3, which is the broker time. Okay. The next thing we're working with is that trading bot is using local time zone, which is currently, I live in Prague, so it's GMT plus 2. So we are working with 3 different time zones, and what we should do is find a way to unify that. And we're going to have a test file to see what we can do. Just have a quick sip. Okay, so here's an example. Okay, so from ATJ Algo Trading backtester, we import get OHLC history. So this function will retrieve the OHLC data. Most of you guys already have seen this already 100 times. So I'm going to export data from EURUSD, and we will also need from datetime import datetime. and time delta, and we will also need to import MetaTrader 5. So import MetaTrader 5 as MT5. And now what we do is we just get OHLC is equal to get OHLC history. So here we just enter a symbol, and here we add the time frame. So let's say I want M15 data, so MT5.timeframe M15, and yeah, now date from, let's say, is date time, and let me specify, date time from today, right? So today is the 7th of October. So this is 2024. October is 10/7, and now let's say I want data from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So in this 2-hour interval, we're going to get OHLC data, and oh, of course, I made a silly mistake. Of course, I need to initialize MT5. So MT5.initialize to connect to our platform. And now let me run this. And you see, I've entered 9, and the output of this platform is 7. So that is very interesting. So, even though I specified 9/11, which so this means, what this means actually is that it assumes that the time zone is running 2 hours ahead. So what would happen if we set a time zone, right? So Martin made a great comment in the last stream that I should use PyTZ. Somewhere he said the code. I think I can reopen that, or actually I can just try to play with myself so I have a rough idea what he meant. So from PyTZ, import time zone. So I can specify the time zone here. So time zone is equal to, or maybe it's just TZ, I'm not sure. TZ is equal to time zone, and here I can just, for example, specify GMT plus 0, right? I think that should work. Time zone is an invalid keyword argument. Okay, you know what, Martin? I'm just gonna check out your old suggestion that you sent me on Discord, and let me just try to inspire myself a bit. All right. So I'm going to check set time zone. Right. Set time zone for date time Python. It's a very simple thing, but I don't work with it that often. Alright, so they just specified time zone info, right? So time zone info, and let's see. Time zone info is equal to. Or actually, yeah. Your time zone GMT plus 0. Hopefully that will work now. Yes, I'm not very sure how it works here. Okay, so now I specified time zone is GMT plus 0, and now it just retrieved 9 a.m. So what happens if I also specify the time zone here, right? So now we are specifying, and I will do start date time here, and then the end date time is also equal to here. So that way we can just replace this so it looks a little bit nicer. So here is the start DT, and here we have our end DT, and let's see if I, yeah, here we have to delete one bracket. Okay, that's great. Martin said, what I do is take the OHLC and translate to my time zone. Okay, that's fine. So what I've actually done here, and that is very interesting. So the broker time, right, is actually GMT plus 3 because it's 15:39 and here it's 14:39. It also seems, yeah. So the problem is that if I specify that the time zone info is GMT plus 0, it thinks that GMT plus 0 is actually just relative to the time zone. 1 second. I have someone needing something from me. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back now. So yeah, someone needs something from me real quick. So sorry for the interruption. And so actually we can roll like this. So assuming that GMT plus 0, even though it's not GMT plus 0, specing GMT plus 0 will return the correct platform times. So we can write a trading bot in such a way that we will always work with the broker time, and as a result I think we don't need to adjust the time zone. So for example, if I write a trading bot when it should, for example, do something, right? So if date time dot now is greater than 15:00, right? Or actually we should use the time is greater than time 15:00, and then I will need to import time as well. Then let's say buy or something, do whatever. And if you want to change that to platform time and to unify all the time zones, what we can do is here we can also specify the time zone info is equal to GMT plus 3, right? So this way, I think we have a very nice way to actually, have this, unified across the trading bot, and so therefore, what we can do is, try to apply what we've done here and apply it to our trading bot here. So here I'm going to add another metric which is called broker time zone is equal to PyTZ, and here I'm going to I'm just going to import PyTZ. So here is equal to PyTZ.time zone, and here I just specify GMT plus 3. This is the time zone of my broker. So because we know that our function here, our functions return broker time zone candles. What we can do is that and copy rate, where is it? Range, copy rates range, right? So here we have copy rates range, and if we want to now specify, the time for the today's session, so I can actually replace this, to 0, but here I can specify the time zone. So time zone is equal to, and because I know that the output is the broker time, so we can use PyTZ.time zone and just use GMT plus 0. So we can use that as a default. And when we're going to rewrite when we're going to rewrite this in get OHS history, I think this is something we can use, and that would be very useful. And we can delete the time delta. Right, so now we are just working with the broker time zones as a result here. And now if we look at the train logic here, so here we have our signal function, right? So when I was writing the function, I was always adjusting the time zones, but now I can just do it based on the backtest. So if signal is equal to 1 and no open positions, we want to send market order. I think I forgot. Oh yeah, here's a trading interval start and trading interval end. So here now I can specify my broker time zone, right? TZ is a broker time zone, so we're always comparing the time based on the broker time zone, and as a result I have to modify the trade interval start, which is 9, and here which is 12, and I think, oh yeah, and here this is 16. So I think this is one of the solutions how we can use that. And Martin, just so you don't feel like I'm not using your solution, I'm very thankful for what you've shown. Let me actually share with you Martin's solution, which is also pretty similar. So thank you for inspiring me with providing a solution. So again, I see that you live in New York, or you just work with New York time zones. So yeah, so you provided the New York time zone, and based on that, you're solving the problem with the same library. So thank you. Okay, so now the training bot is done. So I like not done. So I think the first to do is done. Now, maybe what we could improve is how to optimize the cans. Oh, that makes sense. All right. So, does Argentina and New York have the same time zone, or is it slightly different? One hour difference. Okay, I guess this is doable. Same with me. So my broker is 1 hour ahead. So I think we have similar issues that we're also solving. Okay. So now I think this bot should be ready. So the thing is, if you look at the code here, right, and here you will see a while, while always check signal, then you sleep for a second, and then it will always, run the checks again and again and again, which is fine because this training bot is not that, computation intensive, and it does not spam the broker server because the candles are saved, in our terminal. But basically what it's doing is it's always requesting the same candle. So for example, if you check, compute some indicators every hour or so, it will always trigger, right? So instead of asking, the platform every single time, right, boom, 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 what the data are, maybe we should always wait for some events, right? So I think a more optimal way to do it is, for example, checking the data after a candle close, instead of just computing indicators and doing all of that. So I think a better thing to do is we're going to create a new training bot, and I'm going to call this training bot on candle trading bot, right? So this training bot will always check if a new candle has appeared, and if not, it will not do those computations, and that way we can solve, or optimize some of the computation issues. So from MetaTrader 5, actually import MetaTrader 5 as MP5. And now what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm gonna create a if name is equal to main block. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to initialize MT5, so MT5.initialize. And we create a while loop, right? So we are going, just imitating what we've done. So here I will import from time, import sleep. And here we do while true sleep 1. And I think I can also import datetime. So from datetime import datetime. So this is a very simple while loop, and in this while loop we can just print the current datetime. So print datetime.now. So now you see that here we are refreshing the app every 1 second, and it is printing the current datetime. So let's now also import the get OHLC history, right? So get OH, so from ATJ Algo Trading, import actually algotrading.backtester, import get OHLC history. And I'm just going to copy, the settings here. So these are the initial settings, and instead of start at datetime, I'm going to actually I'm not going to use get OH history. I'm just going to work with MT5 so we don't, we are not confused, with the libraries. So again, here we have the start date time and end date time. And what I'm going to do is, instead of defining static ones, instead I'm going to start date time is equal to datetime.now. And you know that now that we've checked this, we need to also import PyTZ, right? So import PyTZ. So here the time zone PyTZ, time zone info is PyTZ time zone GMT plus 0. And then minus time delta. So I want, the data for the last 2 hours. Well, sorry guys, let's do it differently. Actually, when we compute indicators, so let's say define get last 10 candles. Okay, last 10 candles. So here we will do candles is equal to mt5.copy range from position, and here I can just specify a symbol. Here the time frame is M15, mt5.timeframe M15, and here in this time frame I can now specify the starting position, right? So first close candles, and I want 10 candles, and then we return candles. So here I can call the candles, right? So in this here I can call the function, and if I print candles, this is what we're going to see. Oh, return candles. Okay, so now every second I am requesting 10 candles from a platform, and that is very inefficient because once I export the candles, I already know what the candles are, right? Because they're always the same. And so what I suggest doing is we only fire a new logic once a candle opens. So it is very similar to if you work with MQL5, there's something like on calculate, right, which is used for indicators, or in this case I can use like on bar. So every time you get a new candle, only then we would fire a new trading logic. And so how do we check if there is a new candle? So well, essentially we can create a function, for example, get current candle. Okay, so the current candle is, we can now write the same thing. So current candle is equal to MD5.copy rates range from position. So we can just use that. Now we can provide time frame. We want the current candle and just one, and we return this candle. And I rename the function. So here we are printing the current candle, and I think I can call something like as dictionary, hopefully. No, it doesn't work like this. Maybe to dict. I'm not very sure what the current data type of that is. I think it's just a tuple, right? If it's just a tuple, then I just leave it like this. So current candle is, just this one candle. So all we need to check is, the current time, right? So if, for example, this current time changes and updates, only then, for example, we trigger an event that a new candle has closed. And as a result, we can just fire, or check the trading logic just based on this single candle change. And that, in my opinion, is much more like optimal, because we don't need to check, every second all of these indicators, all of these things, because we've backtested only on the candle close, and therefore it shouldn't be a problem, to do it like that. So what we can, for example, do is we can set a variable to, for example, current candle time is equal to we get the current candle, and then we just take the first. So this is time Unix timestamp, right? So we are just getting this time, and whenever we get a new time, and I think we can test it on actually M1 data. So now I'm actually using M1. So and what I can do now is, if current candle time is this, we can put this into in the while loop. So if current candle time is not equal to the current candle time, right, then we run the trading logic here. So for now I will just do pass. And I wonder where I made the mistake here. Oh, I forgot to write the if here. So if current candle time, or we can also do like less, right? It's less than current candle time, then we run the trading logic, and then we can simply update the current candle time to current. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to current candle is equal, or just candles. Or actually the better thing is define here trading logic, and then here we can print trading bot is doing something. I think that is a better thing to do. So whenever we have so this is basically it. So I think and here the current candle time is equal to we need to set some initial value. So the current candle time is equal to we can just set to 0, so we can just trigger the trading bot on the first. Okay. So now the trading bot did something, and after 60 seconds, it should fire another event. So basically, with every M1 candle close, oh, now it seems like it made a mistake, or a new candle already closed, because yeah, this is also possible. Or when trading bot starts, it could basically start on the current candle, not trade. This is also a possibility. Okay, so I think we have fixed these two things. So now I'm actually happy, you know, with the new trading logic. So I will just implement that code in the while loop actually. So I will only trigger all of these, you know, get signal, compute ATRs and so on, only if the candle closes, because this is all the only time that we need to, you know, do it. See, so now it's 15:01, and you know there might be a difference between the broker time zone and my time, because it seems that, you know, currently on my local machine it's 54 seconds, but it seems that on the broker platform it's running like 6/7 ahead. So that is possible. So this is also like a reason why, you know, candlestick closes are not always reliable, because, you know, there might be a few seconds off, you know, the broker time might be ahead or behind. So yeah, you should be like careful with that and not be like strict with candle closes, but it's something we're working with. So now I'm just waiting for another minute, you know, to pass, and maybe we can just compare it, you know, with the platform. So we are on EURUSD, right, M1, and whenever this M1 closes, this trading bot should trigger, you know, another signal to do something, right? So this candle closed, and immediately you see that, you know, the trading bot did something, and that's great. Okay. So after another minute, when this candle closes, it should do something again. So that way we are not, you know, checking, you know, every second, and I think, yeah, we have a more optimal trading bot that way. Of course, if you like measure something like risk, right? So if you want to measure stop losses, risk, or points or trading stops, you can put this logic outside of this, you know, event block. and do it like outside of that, but this is just strictly optimization on my side. So we're going to apply this same concept onto, you know, our breakout bot. So I'm going to copy the define get current candle. Okay. So I'm going to copy this current candle, and I will just specify time frame is, you know, the M15 actually, right? So it's M15. So here time frame is equal to time frame MT5 dot time frame M15. So this is the time frame of our trading bot, and let me put it actually here, so it actually looks nicer a bit. And then I'm going to copy this while loop here, and I'm just going to try to make the while loop, you know, similar to the other ones. So ignore this. This is just the old train logic. This is the new while loop. So I have to indent all of that. So here current candle is equal to, I will set the initial value for current candle is equal to the current candle time is equal to get current candle, and here we have the while loop, and so if current candle time is less than get current candle time, then I'm going to, you know, I'm going to indent this. So now we have like 3 indents. Hopefully it's not too much. It should be fine. So this trading logic right here is the trading logic here, as you can see. And then I can't forget this, because then I have to update the current candle time after we're done with this. And then after we're done in this if block, we update the current candle time. Then we have a sleep here, and that way this trading bot should now be working. So here I'm going to do print date time, or actually we already printed that here. And because this trading bot is still working on the M15 time frame, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to rewrite it to M1. And yeah, here we also forgot to specify the time zone info, because I forgot to broker time zone GMT +3 does not exist. But let's see here. This is actually very interesting, because it seems to work. Oh, it doesn't work. So GMT +0 works here, but it doesn't work here. So I think I need to use a different time zone, probably just specify the city or something like that. So instead of GMT +3, I guess I will just, you know, specify the time zone based on some European city, and that could work too. Okay, let's just check the PyTC documentation and see what we can find there. Oh, here it is. Maybe I'm supposed to write UTC plus 3 instead of GMT. Oh, let's just try that. Okay. Oh, because datetime.now time zone info. What if I just... Okay, okay. So if you use datetime.now, then you specify the argument time zone. So GMT plus 1 plus 0 works, but plus 1 doesn't work. UTC works. Doesn't work. Let's see. Oh, first of all, they tell me to just use UTC. I guess I'll also do some research on the time zones. We're just working on the cities. Oh, so they're using ETC. What is ETC in GMT? Yeah, today I'm learning something new. Oh, they're using ETC slash GMT. Let me try that. So it is ETC slash GMT plus 3, for example. And it seems to be working. So it's 15:12, and here it's 10:12. Not quite. This is actually well, today I'm also taking physics class what GMT means. I guess I just use the city. I think that's the best thing we can do. We do not recommend using the ETC time zones anyways. So we should just use the region list, for example, country or city. So here if we just use GMT +3, oh, so ETC is actually GMT -3. Oh, because the ETC is actually 6 hours ahead, if that's what I understand. So my broker okay, so they want me to use yeah, EET, Eastern European Time. That is what I was looking for, and it took a lot of time. So broker time zone is just in EET. Great. Took longer than I expected, but we have it. So here the broker time zone is EET. So let's run this. Relative, sir, S&P 500 gold up in long-term trend. Just call me too. I don't like the word sir, to be honest, but thank you for being polite. But let's see, US 500. Well, I'd say you're right. So we are at our all-time highs. You know, here we have like this, you know, two tops that were like reached previously, and yeah, the question is it going up? Is it going down? Looks like, you know, it's the all-time high, so maybe it's like a good time to buy. If you remember, let's have a look at our spreadsheet. And actually, we are planning to go long SP 500 in November, which is in 3 weeks. So currently, you know, I have not backtested any strategies like in relation to like the current period. So I'm not, you know, I can't really say if it's a good time to invest now. But I know that, you know, I have a strategy that I've backtested for November. So I'm going to wait. If I find anything interesting before then maybe, you know, it would be very interesting. And by the way, I'm also like invested into you know, stocks as well. So as I said, I am like in the technology sector, so I'm basically long already. So there's like some form of like, you know, exposure in the stock market. So I believe that you know, I don't need to allocate any more at the moment. So now we see, so our breakout bot is now triggering signal function, right? Every 1 minute after every candle close. So I think this is something, you know, that is really nice to work with, as you know, I'm firing, you know, the signal every 1 minute, and I'm not, you know, doing too much computation every single time. So I think this training bot is ready for initial testing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my VPS where my other training bots are connected, and I'm going to create a demo account, right? So I'm going to create a demo account where yeah, where I'm going to test the trading bot. Okay, so first thing, I think I need to create a new demo account because or I can actually just use a small live account, you know, with $100 US or so. I think that is fine too. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm just doing it off screen, I'm going to create a trading account and deploy that real quick. And now I can create another folder here, which is called DE40 Breakout bot. Or actually, for the previous session breakout. So I'm going to copy it here. And of course, we will need some credentials, right? Okay. So yeah, apologies. I'm just checking, you know, that I'm not leaking anything sensitive. And here we will need another file, which is mt5 credentials.py. So this file will contain our MetaTrader 5 credentials. To connect to the trading platform, I can just copy you know, this thing here, and I made a mistake because this is not supposed to be committed to Git. So I'm gonna roll it back and add this to Git ignore. So I'm adding that to Git ignore. And all right, so now we have our trading bot here. Everything is prepared. So the last thing here is I just need to integrate the MT5 credentials. So from MT5 credentials import, and what do we have here? Login, password, server, and MT5 path. So login, password, server, and MT5 path. So when I initialize the platform, which is somewhere down here, right? So here I will just initialize with the specified MetaTrader 5 path, MT5 path, and here I will log in with the login, password, and the server. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a trading account, and I think you can use you know, any broker. So I guess I'll just go to Tickmill, and as I said, I'm going to do it off screen because, you know, I just, you know, want to hide something in case it's confidential. Or guys, do you know any brokers who provide... Actually, you know what? I can just use the MetaQuotes platform instead. So I think that is actually pretty safe. So I'm just going to do MT5 web trader. Because you can also create credentials, you know, for free without any sign up with MetaQuotes, for example. So I'm just going to download that platform very quickly. I'm going to install it. I think the download has finished. So here is the MT5 setup using MetaQuotes. And guys, for those of you who've never installed MetaTrader 5, so this is, by the way, the trading platform that we're trading on, and this is offered by multiple brokers. Okay, so now it's been finished. And now here we have our MT5 platform running, right? So here this is our MT5, and if we go to Navigator, right, we can just open an account, and that is very interesting. It's interesting because I have MP Global here, but I want to have the metacode server enabled here. So here we have our metacode server, and I can open a demo account, and here I will just provide my credentials. I don't want to provide my phone number to you guys. I'm just gonna well, almost looks like I can't provide a fake phone number. Well, this fake phone number works. Okay, so here we can just specify what we need. I agree with terms and conditions. We go next, and a trading account has been opened. So this is great. So I'm just going to copy these credentials into my file here. So that will be used to connect to a trading account. And I guess now we can finish. So the server name is metaquotes-demo. And then the MT5 path, we still need to figure it out because we are going to, copy this MetaTrader 5 onto our virtual private server. And so what we can do also is, remember that we've downloaded the MT5 setup exe file. So this is basically our download, the installation file for MetaTrader 5. So I'm just going to copy that on my VPS. As you can see, my US Miner Momentum Bot is still running here, so we're using the same server. And now if we run this file, now we're installing another platform on our server. Nice. So here we see that MT5 is installed, is successful, and on my server I'm also going to create testing bots, right? So here all the bots are being tested. So now let me just quickly show you how we're going to proceed. So in our testing bot file, we will trade all our testing bots. I also have a live trading file here. So if we go to this PC and go to the C folder and we check program files, we will find MetaTrader 5 and other platforms I've installed as well. So what we can do is, let me actually just close that because we don't need this installation folder. So we just take our MetaTrader 5 folder and we just copy that into our testing bots. So this is the path to our MetaTrader 5 terminal, right? And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder here, or actually I don't need to create any folder because I can just copy it from my project here because everything here is done. So here I'm going to copy my Breakout trading bot, put it on my server. Everything's great. Put the MetaTrader 5 inside this folder so we know that we're working with this MetaTrader 5 folder. And now what's left is we just need to take this terminal64.exe, right? So we copy that, and this is basically the path to our terminal64.exe, right? So this is the path to our MetaTrader platform. We have backslashes, so we have to provide the R raw string so we don't have any issues. and now we just copy the credential file back into our MT5 credential folder. Okay, everything looks great. So next thing what we have to do is let's just try to log in to this platform here, so everything is initialized. It sometimes takes a lot of time to initialize the platform, so we need a little bit of patience here. That's great. So I was asking, nice, which VPS server do you use? So currently I'm using Contabo. So Contabo is, in my opinion, a very reliable provider. They're relatively cheap. But for live trading, I use Beaks, right? Because they have dedicated data centers in London, where most of the brokers are located. So this is not sponsored, but I can share a link with you. Contabo, which is this one. And then if you want, to step up your game, be a bit more professional, I recommend Beaks, but Beaks is only important if you, for example, trade like very, like scalping bots. You need low latency and a very robust infrastructure. So here I also can recommend Beaks. Now that is sponsored, so don't worry about that. Yeah, let's now log into the trading platform on our VPS. And we are going to use our credentials for the initial login, right? So here, whoops, this is actually just a Python file, so we need to open it in the editor. And all right, so here we're just going to provide the credentials, and after you log in once to MetaTrader 5, then it shouldn't be a problem, to continue using the Python script.
Incoming mail.
Right, so now we see that we have connected to our platform, and let's test it. Okay, so theoretically I can close this platform now, and if I run the testing bot, right, from my command prompt. So I'm going to open the command prompt, and now I'm going to change the directory to previous session breakout. Now what I can do is I can just write Python DE40 breakout bot.py, and now it should be running, unless I made a mistake. DE40 breakout trading bot. And now the platform should open without anything. Oh, and of course we have a new package. So here we also need to pip install ATJ Algo Trading. See? And that's a big advantage, because now we can just use pip install, and our trading bots are running without any other imports. One thing more. Please do a session to import Python bots as executable, a single package deployed at any VPS server without Python installation. It will be very helpful. Yeah, that's actually a great idea, and I think yeah, we could do that also. The only problem is that we also need our terminal to be running, right? So or it could be like a GUI, whatever. Yeah, I'll think about that, and I think we can have a topic on that. Okay, so our package has been installed, so now we can run the trading bot, and hopefully our MetaTrader 5 platform should now start. So it has started. The trading bot is now trading, and like right now nothing is happening, right? Because I'm gonna leave it the other one on M1. But in 1 minute, it should print the thing, you know, like when a new candle closes, it will do it. So it's a big improvement to this one, because this trading bot, it is just, you know, firing every 1 second, which I think is not like, it works, there's no problem, but for me personally, I think this is an improvement that actually helps. And see that? So now it has printed, you know, something like time, broken already, and so on. And so I think we're good to go. So do not forget that whenever you trade, you need to enable algo trading, and you also need to enable all the symbols in your market watch. So the symbol we're trading, of course, is here DE40. And whenever we find an opportunity to trade, oh, actually not DE40, because on meta quotes the name is DAX, DAX. Probably no, not even. Github maybe? Ah, never mind. Obviously, Github 40, 30. Let's try M. And yeah, it's, you know, sometimes brokers, they have so many symbols to choose from, and you know, they're not tradable. Oh, so it's an ETF what they have here. But what we're looking at is indices, and oh, it's GDAX IM. That's what it is, and also not tradable. This is like so confusing, guys. I guess MetaQuotes doesn't have it figured out. Because none of the, all the trading is disabled. Should have chosen normal broker to trade with. Yeah, I guess, you know, once I'm after the stream, I'll just, you know, create the demo account in Tickmill, and I'm gonna do it in Tickmill because right now I don't want to go in my client area. So, but you guys get the idea. So if I just were to, you know, do it in EURUSD, that should be tradable. Yeah, that's tradable. It should work. And as you can see, it's, you know, not much different. So whenever, you know, we get a signal, the trade will open a trade, and then eventually you guys will be able to see that, you know, on my live account as well eventually. So yeah, my Bitcoin trade today, a very nice green candle, so that's great. And I believe that, you know, we should be done with our trading bot. And maybe, you know, while you guys already ask, we can create an executable. Like, I mean that's fine, but executable files, they require a little bit more attention. So I'm thinking, you know, how we could do that. But first of all, you know, let's just finish up this trading bot. I'm just gonna commit these files so you guys can have a look at it. I'm just gonna commit that, and you guys can have a look at the files if you wish to. Alright. Make sure to hydrate, it's very important. And yeah, with that, I think the trading bot is done, and we just have to wait. So now it will be tested, then deployed live, everything's fine, and hopefully, yeah, we have a new trading bot in our inventory. So now we have capacity for new trading bots. So yeah, one is done, new ones to go. And I think I like the idea of price action trading. So what I actually suggest doing, guys, how about we get a 15-minute break? I'll prepare some coffee and I'll be back around in another 10 or 15 minutes, right? So or how they do this. I just want to be right back. All right, let's just make it huge. Ah, not bad. So be right back at 60:55 G plus T, which is 15 minutes. And I'll be back, with a new topic. So in the meantime, guys, also have a good break. Go for a walk, and we'll be back. And I'll think of a new topic that we'll be working on. Alright guys, I'm now back. I got my coffee. So for those of you who are still not here, I guess we can still wait like 5 minutes for those of you who also took a break. Yeah, meanwhile we can have like a small casual discussion or enjoy our coffee. By the way, Martin, if you're here on the stream, yeah, I'd like to thank you. You know, you've been very like proactive on our on the Discord channel, and you know, you've been promoting my content a lot. So I'm very grateful, you know, for sharing my content, and you know, I'm very happy, you know, to be working on this project with you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And you know, also thank you to those who are watching the stream with me. And as we can see, oh, almost. You know, I just saw MTD profit floating PNL was almost zero at some point, if you've seen that. But let's open our chart. So I feel like, you know, right now Bitcoin jumped up like a little bit, or maybe that's a little bug and returned zero. That's also possible. So. Change that to candlesticks. Oh, by the way, I can teach you something very interesting on the platform. If you go to properties, if you want to like save a default template, you go to template and you do save template, and if you rename this template to default, it will save it as a default. So whenever you close a chart and open a new one, it will save the default. So just in case you're wondering on MT5. Okay, so I was thinking maybe we should, maybe work a bit more on the breakout pods. I mean, that wouldn't be bad because, we've started with previous decline low, but there are so many other ways to like work with breakouts, and so I was thinking, yeah, maybe we can like stick to DE40, or we can like maybe try to find another symbol. I'm sure if breakouts are that good on Forex, right? Because usually they just tend to go up and down, and then when there's a big economic release, it just spikes. I'm not, let's say, a big Forex fan in regards to that, but when I look at stock indices, I feel like the volatility is like more even throughout the day. Of course, we have to test that. And what else could we trade? Like, remember we also made like statistic arbitrage between Brent and crude oil. That was very nice. But I realized, the broker swaps, they will kill your life. So the only way to trade the statistic arbitrage is on the futures market. So I think there is much better. I guess what we can do is I think I have to do it at home because I wanted to improve some of my Algo train libraries, but I actually forgot how to update it, and I don't want to bother you guys with this project right now. But I mean, there are some improvements on the Algo trading lib. Or actually, I might use a free time, just to scroll through Discord. There's a lot of help me issues, and I wonder if you guys are interested in something, just let me know. Like, I got requested, to create some Python executable, so Python's not necessary. I mean, the choice between having an executable file or a Python training bot, I think if you decide to use training bots, you might as well use executables, or you just rewrite a training bot to MKL5. I think that should be like an easier option rather than having a full executable. So yeah, but it definitely works. I think there are scripts to convert Python to executable, and it's actually very simple, right? So if some of you are interested in doing that, there is a library called PyInstaller, and if you just follow this guide on Geeks for Geeks, I think I learned it from there also. I did a few executables in the past. So if you copy this tutorial, you can easily convert that into an executable. Okay, it's 3:55:54. It's now 55 now. So I guess as mentioned, I guess we can continue now. But you know what, guys? Not everyone has to be algo trading. Maybe we can take it more chill. And yeah, I can show you how to create an executable, and we will just follow this tutorial one by one, because not everything must be algo trading, and maybe in the future it will be important for your other jobs. So as you guys know, I started as a data analyst in a train company. So actually, there was a lot of train related stuff, but during my job I learned how to create websites, how to work with databases, how to script on servers. So I learned so many things working with GitHub, GitLab, and so on. So I think even if if you only learn algorithmic trading, you can learn so much more on the during the process, and I think that is also very beneficial. Like I said, I did to convert an exe, but when I run on a laptop, it gives MD5 will not found error while array things are installed. So can try deploy on VPS with exe. All right. So I wonder what that issue is. So first of all, you need a Windows machine to run MetaTrader 5, because MetaTrader 5 runs on Windows. And second, if all the libraries are installed with the exe, then I believe it should be working. But let's try an example, right? So while we're talking about this topic, let's create an exe file that starts MD5 and starts TrainBot. So what we're using here is a PyInstaller. Let me just quickly see exactly how it works. Okay, I think this should be very easy. Related tips, sir, refer any book or course for time-based trading. Okay, so before we go to XE, I learned Python Udemy. Okay, when I started trading for a trading firm, I was actually customer support, and like I knew nothing about coding at that time. So while working there, they needed some automation scripting jobs, and for that I needed to learn Python, and I had little knowledge in programming. So the first course I started with is I think, let me find a course. I think Zero to Mastery. It's this one. Right, so and it's in sale now. So when I started coding, this is like, if you know nothing about Python, I think this course is amazing, right? It covers almost everything you need in Python and the basic libraries. And then the second course that is very good, and I'm just talking about the basics, right? You're a beginner, you want to get into algorithmic trading. The second one is Python for financial analysis. This one was done by Jose Portilla, right? So this one I also recommend when you want to start, with the financial analysis. Like, you can't be an algorithmic trader without knowing something about, financial analysis and, data analysis in general. So these are the two courses I recommend. The first one, of course, is more like broad, so you don't need to learn everything. But if you get like, let's say you get to the first basic sections, like until scripting Python, or like to this part, career of Python developer, you will get all the basics, right? It's basic crash course. But I think that this course also has a crash course in Python, right? It's a 1-hour lecture crash course. So if you're an absolute beginner in Python, maybe I would suggest, getting a beginner course. But if you already have some Python knowledge and just want to, kickstart your algorithmic trading career, get this course. And then the rest I had to learn myself, unfortunately. So like working with MT5, working with, the entire like backtesting thing and so on. As you see, I write my own libraries, I write everything that I need for trading. You have to do that yourself. Oh, you bought Pure Data books already, so that's great. I think algorithmic trading is one of the topics that's very difficult to learn nowadays, because me personally, I don't trust anyone, right? And now it sounds a bit weird because you're watching me, guys. When I started trading, I was very naive. I almost absorbed everything I could from the internet, and most of the trading related content on the internet is bad, right? You shouldn't trust people with trading. So most of the research I've done, myself. But when it comes to quant trading, and I wouldn't call myself a quant, because a quant is someone who is like more mathematical, right? What I'm doing is like very simple methodologies in trading. That is just looking for some market patterns. So I'm more for like looking for market patterns using Python and then trying to apply that in trading. But a quant is actually someone who uses like advanced mathematics, and maybe you've heard about this guy like Ernie Chan is like really great. So if you just look at some of his books like Algorithmic Trading, Winning Strategies, I think this is something that I can recommend. Schedule Python, sir, neat. Well, there's a lot of things that we can cover, I guess. Okay, because you guys are so active on the chat, so today I'm going to show you a few things. So let's create a new folder for today, and this will be, less related on algorithmic trading, but more focused, in general Python libraries. So you guys, so you guys get a feeling, how that works. So today is 2024 10/07, and put the folder here. DM texted, I'm new to this, so may I ask, what is the entry cap to start with for beginners? For beginners, it's 0. You should start with a demo account. As you know, most traders are losing, and if you can't make money in the demo account, there is no need to put it in live. But I think this is just a theory. If you're a beginner, maybe put $100 into your live account and be very careful. Intraday Predator texted, that is my issue. After 4 years, I can say that 95% of people in internet can't trade. Yeah, absolutely agree. Sometimes I wonder if I can trade, right? So how can you trust other people? Reliable tips. I made my strategy in Tradertron, new to Python. Okay, I don't know what Tradertron is. Check us. Have you ever tried high win rate, low RR strategies? Yes, I have, but I'm not actually aiming for high win rate, low RR. Usually, the high win rate, low RR is a result of the strategy developing. So, for example, it is a bad habit to look for strategies, that have this RRR, this win rate, this average, whatever it is, and so on, or like 10 trades in a row. You should always look for strategies, that in your mind have logic, have potential, and then the statistics such as win rate are the result of that. So for example, which strategies have high win rate, low RRR, and that is like mean reversion strategies. Let's have a look example at the Bollinger Band strategy that we backtested in the beginning, right? Somewhere in August with some Bollinger Band strategies. Right, here's the Bollinger bot, and somewhere we need the backtest. I'm not sure if I saved some profitable backtests here, but no, I haven't. But here's an S&P 500 backtest. If you just bought S&P 500 over the past years, it just held. That is, for example, high win rate. Sorry guys, so you guys are quite active in the chat, so well, at least I can still finish my coffee. Let's start with the easiest things that you've mentioned, and the easiest thing I can show you now is the schedule Python, because relatives wanted to see the schedule library, so I created a folder for today. Okay, example Python schedule. Okay, maybe you want to schedule a trading bot. Maybe you have some, something you want to automate, some scripting, whatever. A schedule is basically nothing, just a scheduler. So if we go to Python schedule, here we can find the documentation. If that's what you're asking for, reliable tips. So here we can just copy the code. And you will need the package pip install schedule. Okay, so this library is actually pretty popular, and of course I have not installed it yet, so I have to do a pip install schedule. And basically schedule has multiple ways to schedule your jobs, right? So here you can define a function that is doing something, like the function is working. So for example, it can schedule a trade, it can schedule some, if you're a data analyst, some database calls, REST API calls, whatever you need. So here, what this does is it will schedule every 10 minutes to do something. It will schedule every 1 hour to do something, right? Also, you can add the time zone if you want to, so that's very interesting. So you can run this, and if you run this, then all of these scheduled tasks will be scheduled, for example, every 10 minutes. So something triggered it. Every hour, every day at a certain hour. On Monday, do something, right? Wednesday at certain hour. Every day add with a time zone and minute. So I guess this was a very simple way, you know, to use a schedule library. And I almost think like it's not that, you know, not much to show. It's a very easy to use library. Everything you have here is on this page. DM asks, do you have these notebooks on GitHub? I can learn from these. Yes, of course. Everything I've coded here, you can find GitHub page. So if you go to my website, you know, there is a section GitHub. And you can find it here, but I'm just going to provide you with the direct link. But I of course will have much more you know, repositories in the future to share, so they will be on the website, but you can click on this to, you know, look at the code. Relatives, I'm preparing for prop capital. Knows how to win, help me. Here sir, definitely after win, or will give you remuneration in long term in form of trend. Oh, that's nice of you. Prop trading, yeah, prop trading is also a very interesting topic, and yeah, I think it requires no, maybe a session, a dedicated session on its own. So I assume you'd be trading with FTMO, or who are you going to trade with? Talking to relatives now. Jose Flores, how would you connect your MT5 terminal to a hosted website? Oh, you mean like you want to create like a web application on the website? Or do you just mean that we should just share? Oh, can it work as API to get OGC data by website to a terminal? Oh, that's great. Good question that you asked, Jose, because I have that solution already. So I think that's a very great question, and I think I can share something with you. I used to like create an API on MetaTrader 5. So for example, if you want to receive data or send trade, I think that's a great topic. We can do that today. And the coffee's kicking in. I feel really good now. I think I'll just make a quick example for Jose, who asked a question, and just a very simple example. So MT5, we can create like MT5 web API. So now I'm going to use some libraries that I've never used on the live stream, but we're going to work with Flask. Okay, so Flask is a web framework in Python where you can write MT5 calls. So we can do something like import MetaTrader 5 as MT5 and import pandas. We import pandas as PD, and then from Flask import Flask. So we are going to make a very simple website. And okay, so we will create an app, which is our application, is equal to Flask name, and then we can create like something like just a second, I'm going to change to British keyboard, app route index, and then we can define index, which is our homepage, and we return homepage. Okay, so here we can just do app.run, so our app would be running now, and this is how we quickly create a website. Okay, so here we see that I've created a very simple website on localhost port 5000. Of course, there's some work to do, but maybe I can create a quick example for Jose, who asked how you can maybe interface MT5 platform with API calls. So I'm going to create a very simple route. So I can do app.route and I can do /account data, right? So what I will create a function account data, and what I will need to do here is I will need to call mt5.initialize. And with mt5.initialize, also let me just restore the mt5 platforms because I would like to work with the Tickmill platform actually. That's why I should use path and initialize, but now it should be fine. So, oh yeah, so now Tickmill is enabled. So, so yeah, I'm going to show an example how to retrieve the account data on MT5 from a web browser. So here, account info is equal to account data. Actually, not account data. MT5.account info. For example, balance is equal to account info dot balance. Equity is equal to account info dot equity, and so on. And then we can return a dictionary. So balance is equal to balance, right? Equity is equal to equity, and maybe I can also share the login, which is also interesting, right? So the login of the trading account is account info.login, and the server where I'm connected, yeah, I can also include that here, is equal to account info.server. So I can do login like this, and then we can do server like this. So now if I rerun this app, and now we're look at the API, right? So now this is the home page, as you can see, and if I do /account data on my website, we see, and this is a JSON file. You can like call this using like, you know, Python request library or any type of, you know, REST API call, and we have interfaced MetaTrader 5 with you know, Python API. So there are other ways to it. So for example, you can also submit, you know, orders, like, you know, trade with that, but I think it's safer, you know, to leave trading purely, you know, with Python, because also it's safer and you have more control over that. So hopefully, you know, Jose, if you're more interested in that, maybe we can, you know, discuss a project, you know, work on the details. Me personally, I use it just, for example, to scrape data, right? Symbol data, price data, and sometimes I use it for trading, but not so much anymore. Intraday Predator, I think it's the BTC trade. What do you mean? Oh, we are in profit now. It's crazy. Yeah, that's great. Guys, it's amazing. Finally, after one entire week, we are in profit. Or at least the floating P&L. But it's a nice thing to look at. What's that? That will react to the local machine or a user that accesses the website. I think the terminal is more complicated. Yeah, so currently the website is on localhost, but you can also host it publicly if you want to, so that is completely up to you. And if you want, you can also access, you know, provide some user interface such as buttons, you know, drop downs, charts, whatever you think. So all of that is possible, but it is actually up to you, you know, what to work with. And yeah, the user would have to provide MT5 credentials to log into that platform, or you can just define it prior in the script. Okay, guys. I feel like that we've been, chatting a lot, and I've been, showing you some, some interesting things around Python and so on. So maybe I would like to focus now on a new project, right? Again, like I prefer working on train bots in my free time. So let's think about a new strategy, Or of course, no problem. Aga, can you tell one thing more? Yes, of course. So just go on with the questions. I sleep an entire day anyways. Martin, as with Ivan Sherman's idea, 3 red candles on bullish trend. He buys. We can backtest that. And let's do that. That sounds like interesting. I gave the TP details, but not the SL. You know what? I'm just going to backtest the idea, and we can try doing that. We have to log in MT5 software and Python code as well both. Can we log in MT5 with put data in just Python code, not in desktop app? Yes, you can. You can log into MT5 purely with Python code, but when you log into the account for the first time, you need to log in manually to authorize that. But any subsequent login is okay. Any subsequent login can be accessed via Python only, so that's not a problem. Okay, well, Martin already asked, we can backtest something from Ivan Sherman. I don't know this guy, but it sounds like a very simple strategy, so I think we can try that. And I can just use one of my backtest templates actually. So I'm just going to use the packages that we have here, and we're going to backtest on the S&P 500. So here's 500. Martin, could you provide some extra information on the S&P 500 strategy? Is it like M15 or is it like a D1 candle that we're going to backtest on the S&P 500? Right, we can just do them daily, and then we can try, various permutations of strategies. I think that's okay with me. So let's just work with D1. I think I'm fine with that, and let's just run this. Okay, so in my opinion, how do we define a trend? And I think reliable tips. Yeah, if you may, I will now focus on this backtest right here with Martin, and then I'll get back to you via email. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, let's use SMA then for a strategy. So we will need the SMA, which is a very simple strategy. So OHLC SMA is equal to OHLC. Let's use the open prices. We use rolling 200 dot mean, and So now we can just plot the indicators is equal to SMA. Yeah, well, I think we can backtest it for the past, maybe since 2015, if it's on the daily chart. So with SMA here. Okay, so a very simple strategy. So if the price is above the SMA, or if all the past 3 candles or whatever has been our SMA, if we have 3 red candles in a row, then we buy. So it's basically buying the retracement. Yeah, looking at the green MTD profit for PNL looks so great, guys. Been a loss entire week on this strategy, but at least, maybe it might drop again, but at least seeing green for once also gives you a bit of happiness. SMA 200 below price, okay. Okay, so first thing, we need to find a way how to identify 3 red candles in a row. And first what we need to do is we need to identify what candle each, what if it's a bullish or bearish candle. So define get candle type, right, with the input X, and if X open is or if X dot close is greater than X open, we return bullish candle, right? And I think I'll just return 1. Else if X dot close is less than X open, we return -1. So this is a bullish candle, and this is a bearish candle, okay? So this is what the number represents. And then else, so in our case, X is equal 0, that's a doji candle, we just return 0. And now to get a candle type, we just get OHLC candle type is equal to OHLC.apply get candle type X is equal to 1. Yeah, thanks for the strategy details, Martin. So now with the candle type, and now how do we see if we have 3 candles in a row? So if we sum up this plus this plus this, we have 3 bearish candles in a row, and of course we actually have to shift it, right? We want to check if the previous 3 candles are bearish, because then the current candle would be our entry candle. So we can do it later though. So if this plus this plus this is 3 candles in a row, then if we have -3 in the cumulative sum, that would mean we have 3 bearish candles in a row. So candle sequences. I wonder if you can use rolling and list together now, but hopefully it should. OHLC candle type dot rolling 3. Okay, I hope that works. It does not anymore. Because then I could have saved this in the list as a rolling, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way anymore. So because we can't do the rolling list, we can just use sum actually, because that way we know if it's -3, it means it's 3 -1s in a row. So we know that this is a bearish candle, this is a bearish candle, this is a bearish candle. So on the next candle, we know that we had 3 bearish candles in a row. So I'm just going to do previous candle sequences, the sum, and then we shift it by 1. So here, what we're just doing is we're checking three bearish candles in a row. So here we have that, for example, and here we will also need the SMA. And let me just read the rest of the strategy from Martin. 1. SMA below 200 price. 3. Daily candles bearish. He buys at next open. TP when price goes over daily SMA 5. We like the SL. We have to get creative there. Isn't it a bullish strategy? Isn't it like number 1 that SMA is to be above? Oh, SMA 2 and below price. So it means, yeah, okay, it makes sense. TP when price goes over daily SMA 5, and we like SL. So you know what, let's just backtest, like apply 1 and 2, and then we can get creative with take profit and stop loss, okay? I think that let's just start, you know, on a higher level, and then we can be, as you said, creative with the rest. Okay, so I'm just going to write down here. One, price must be above SMA 200. And then 2, signal 3 bearish candles in a row. And I think now it is actually very easy. So define get signal. So if X, and we already computed the previous candle sequences, right? So we know that here the previous 3 candles were bearish because we have this logic here. So if previous candle sequences is equal to -3, so we have 3 bearish candles in a row, then we of course, and exit open. So open price is greater than the current SMA, which is our simple moving average 200. Then we return, let's just call it return buy, and that's pretty much it. And I think this logic is so simple that we might not even need to use a get signal function. So instead, let me just copy the backtest template. Here we can just copy the onBar function, and this will be used you know, to define the strategy logic. And down here we have the backtest parameters, and I just should have copied the template from the start, but it's too late now, so let's just copy the rest here, and this is it. So so exit signal we don't have yet because we need to define take profit and stop loss. So actually, what I'm going to test first is take profit. Yeah, we're still missing the stop losses. So what if we do like stop loss 1-to-1? So take profit goes over daily SMA 500. So I'm thinking, you know, how we should design strategy. Yeah, because we're missing the take profit stop losses to make it good. Actually, I'm going to proceed with a different approach. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compute. Martin, could you maybe provide me on average, how long the trades are? Is it like intraday trade, or does it last days, weeks, or months? Just so I have a rough idea, um, how long I should be holding the trade. Because for example, what I could do is I could just compute end of day prices and see, how the trade would end up if I closed at the end of the day. Okay, so let's just be very flexible and I will compute the end of day price. Oh, and the end of day price is easy because I just have to take the close price of each candle. So here I can just do gain, and the gain is just OHLC close minus OHLC open. So this is the end of day price, and I can compute percentages. So the percentage gain is equal to the gain divided by the open price of that day. So this is the percentage gain. Aga has a problem. Initialize path, login server, timeout, portable false. Please try long MT5 Python when portable is set to true. Oh, the login server and everything else must be in a separate login statement, something like that. Let me provide you with an example. Should look something like this, if that helps. Not sure, what the issue is, but hopefully that will help. Okay, back to our backtest. So we're going to compute end of day prices, and if there's an edge, I think at the using the end of day prices, we should already find something that that should be useful for us. I almost feel like with my strategies I should be trading options and not take profit stop loss, because for example, the US strategy has always a timed close, right? And the Bitcoin strategy also has a timed close. So in my case, trading options is fine because I can just use the expiry dates, as when I want to close a position and exercise my option. But that is again very advanced, and I haven't tried options yet. Shimas, can you code SL to take profit auto optimizer? Optimizing stop loss and take profit. Currently not my field of expertise, but maybe we can have a look at that. No, it's not like my trading style to like optimize take profit stop losses, and I just mentioned like, but yeah, it does make sense. Because I sometimes feel like optimizing take profit stop losses might be like almost like overfitting, like when will you always get the exact entry and exact exit? That's kind of difficult. But we can have a look. At least maybe have like a range of values that are acceptable for us is good. So yeah, great idea. Great idea. Okay, so let's continue with Martin's strategy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to filter out all the days where the percentage gain is -3 and the price is above 3. So I'm going to create OHLC2 is equal to OHLC where previous kind of sequences is equal to -3, and SMA is less than OHLC open, so which means that the simple moving average is below current open price. So this is a list of our setups. Oh, I can use AND, it's actually this. We have to add brackets for a syntax to work. And now we run OHLC2. I tell you, it stopped working. I am very behind with AI and ChatGPT, so it always amazes me how other people are so invested in that. Bye. My partner's leaving, so I just said goodbye to him. Okay, so here we have a list of all sequences where we have this trading opportunity, and we would be closing at the end of the day, and we want to compute the percentage gain. So now what I can do is let's see if there is any edge. So all the previous casting was 3. So if I take percentage gain.sum, I would hope to be in profit. And in fact, we are in profit. So let's see how it looks on the backtester. So instead of using take risk stop loss, I'm just gonna close it in the next trading session. So here I'm gonna, let's say, trade 10,000 US dollars always in nominal value. So I'm going to do this, and I will round this to 2. Of course, we just want to buy, and the signal for our trade so the data must be -3, and data SMA must be below data open. And if that's right, then we can just buy, and then we are just going to close the trade the next day. That's it. So immediately the next day we're closing the trade at the open price, and yeah, that's our backtest. So let's run this backtest and see what happens. All right. Of course, I need to. Right. So if I hold it to the next open price, that's bad. But we see that we had like a very nice trend here and here. So yeah, currently the backtest doesn't look nice. Also, there is some small discrepancy in the profits, because here we have a slight profit, like 10% profit, but that's because I'm closing it at the close price at the open, so that also might play a role. So maybe the stop loss and take profit play a crucial role, right? Because we see that there is a very big drop between 2018 and 2021, so there has to be a lot to be optimized. So yeah, maybe we need to also visualize. Let's just visualize the backtested trades. and let's have a look at the example here. So for example, right, we can have some example trades here. So what we see here is, for example, we are above the SMA 200, and here we see 1, 2, 3 candles in a row, and then it's closing here, and here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are in profit here. So maybe the problem is that maybe we should be closing a trade, and we should be still holding a trade until, for example, the price does not close below the SMA 200, for example. So maybe we can set the stop loss to SMA 200, because here, for example, we have like a very, very nice setup, right? So 3 red candles, buy, 3 red candles, buy. So it's been working in this scenario very well. And where it's been underperforming, if we look at the backtest, this is between 2018 and 2021. So it's actually this section here. I think Python Breakout indicator is right. I would disagree with that. So it's either you've coded the indicators wrong in Python, or yeah, I think it's all a matter of, you know, the mathematical equation, how you compute them. Okay, so we see, for example, yeah, there's the big market drop here, right? So here we see, you know, very big drops, which might have caused the drop here. So so I would say we have very good periods, and then like in some cases very big losses. So maybe the stop loss and take profits play a crucial role. Okay, guys, I'm going to have a quick toilet break, right? So I'll be back in like 3 minutes. So be right back. And all right, I'm back. So yeah, the strategy that we practice now from Martin. So how do we optimize strategy? Like, I mean, we don't have to force it, right? Sometimes strategies don't work, but Martin provided, you know, some very, you know, exact rules. And I'm just trying to look at the chart and see how, you know, I could optimize it based on, you know, the things I see. Because when we look at, you know, the small trades here, right, we see that this strategy seems to perform well on like small intraday movements, right? So, but there is like 1, 2, 3 big losses that are causing strategy, you know, to go down. So I'm thinking like, you know, if we are able to minimize this, you know, this drawdown here, this strategy could perform quite well. And we need to focus on the period 2018 to 2020. And when I look at the chart here, right, I immediately see big loss, right? And then if we scroll further, another loss and a bigger loss. So maybe yeah, ATR sounds good. I'm more inclined to, for example, you see, right, 1 2 3, and we see that, you know, the sequence here is 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So the minuses here, if you look at it, when the market goes down and goes down really hard, we could maybe you know, not re-enter a trade once we had a single loss. So we want something like a reset. Or we could let the profits run. That's also true, because the S&P 500 has been trending a lot. So maybe something like a trailing stop. Interesting. Okay, so we limit the losses by not re-entering a trade once it's in a loss. Okay, so we just get one setup. And maybe we can do something like a trailing stop. I think all of that has a lot of potential. Even though trailing, you know, I usually don't like trailing stops when it comes to like little scalps. So let's optimize the things by actually not re-entering. Because we're sort of scaling into the loss. Oh, at this point I would say, why not try martingale, right? But that's also a bad idea. Martingale is always bad. Okay, I will limit this. I will place a stop loss based on the candle low. I think I will start like that. So SL is equal to the previous candle low. So I will just compute the previous low is equal to OHLC low dot shift 1. And here I will just take the previous low to limit the losses. That looks much better. So guys, we went from a losing strategy to a winning one because we were able to limit the losses by, you know, setting, you know, the stop loss to previous low, and as a result, over the past 10 years we have made a profit. But you know, this thing still seems to be a bit not good enough, right? We want maybe a more consistent return, because you know, we risk 600 to make 600, almost 1-to-1. But you know, we're getting there. So we optimized a little bit by setting a stop loss, and maybe now is actually a good time to aim for you know, higher returns, right? So should we maybe apply a take profit instead? That could also be, you know, a solution. So I'm now thinking, you know, of course, it's not that easy, you know, to just create a strategy on the run, but at least we know that the stop loss worked. Yeah, if we look at here, for example, right, we go long, and if we held the position until here, it would be such a nice profit. The question is, like, is the stop loss working? Because, you know, the stop loss should have been set at the previous low, so it should actually close down here. And I think the problem might be with the backtester, because it's closing before it does the stop loss checking. You need dynamic market determinator. Could you please elaborate, Nishimo? Large only bull, bear, neutral market, sell, buy. Oh, that's what you mean. of course, this strategy is performing well because we know that the market is trending, so we automatically have an edge by going long, right? So that's also like pretty difficult. Like we could try to reverse the strategy if the market is, for example, trending down. So that is a good point, right? Because yeah, like I'm just considering a strategy like a buy and hold on an index, right? Performs so much better than looking for some, you know, retracements. So maybe we should just hold it, because if, for example, we just trailed with a moving average or trailed somehow, it was such a better performance than you know, these little take profits. We should, yeah, optimize take profits somehow. Well, we all have many ideas, and as I say, implementation and testing and all of that is the biggest pain. So I do agree with you. Well, I think I still need to think about this strategy a little bit. Right now, you know, we can like I'm not very like convinced. Like the strategy, I believe, is working, right? But aren't all long strategies, like long-term strategies on indices, working when you just go long, right? And so the question is, what's the difference between a buy and hold portfolio and going long on some occasions on the index? So, and of course, like this is not Ivan Sherman's like real strategy, so I can't say for sure because I don't have the exact rules and parameters. But so far, like to me, if I had to choose between this and a simple, like, I don't know, SMA crossover strategy, I would just go with SMA crossover. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to show you an example. Like I can use, for example, like SMA 10 and then SMA 200, right? And then again, we would just be using a long portfolio. So in this case, I don't even need to. I'm just going to visualize it for you here. So it's SMA 10 and SMA 200. Here candle type is not important, so we can actually get rid of this. We don't need this for this backtest. So here, if SMA 10 is above SMA 200 and there are no open trades, we go buy. And then for close positions, right, if if SMA 10 is below SMA 200, then you want to close the trade. So I would do something like that, and it's basically also like a long strategy on S&P 500. Oh, and this is SMA 10 and this is SMA 200. As you can see, like we don't generate as many trades, but it's a very like consistent profit curve. So compared to the one I've made here, right, and where we made like, yeah, 628. We were just holding the trades much longer, right? It's like a trend following strategy, and it clearly outperforms it. So here we have the simple moving averages, and this is our long portfolio essentially. And like right now, we still would be long. And it also like acts as a trailing, because you know here, because we have the moving averages, they act as trailing. And this is like my approach if I wanted to like design a long portfolio and an index, just use SME crossover. It's very simple, but in my opinion, like just keeping simple is, you know, my type of approach in trading. And Light Logic just commented, add an SL trail function to SL, moves €1 profit and so on, but when market goes opposite, stop loss stays there. Using this currently, and it's wonderful. Yeah, maybe we can use SMA value based TP stop loss range step. Yeah, all of that is like doable. So you know, I might be like disagreeing with you guys, and it's okay, right? I appreciate your input. So the way I like to look at things is, you know, you can trail stop losses, you can apply take profit and stop loss, but in my opinion, it's very important to, you know, see the big picture, right? And the big picture, at least talking about this strategy, is that we want to go long on an index, right? That's all there is to it. So what works, what we know about indices, long-term, the indices tend to go up, right? This is like a proven thing. And what are methods, right? The methods are, for example, the classic Warren Buffett buy and hold strategy, where you just buy in like monthly or quarterly increments. So you just keep, you know, allocating capital in the portfolio and just hold it, which essentially is my buy and hold strategy that we've backtested, you know, in August. And this is what it looks like, right? You just keep investing every month like $200 and everything's in profit. Or you do this, right, where you do SMA trend following, so it's less buy and hold, you know, so when there's a bearish market, you stay out of the market and you still build a long-term long portfolio. And I don't like to deviate from this idea. Yeah. So yeah, asking yourself, should I move the stop loss? Should I trail the stop loss? Should I have 10 points, 20 points, use ATRs for that? I think these things tend to perform better when it comes to, for example, like intraday trading, like short-term trading. But I don't want to mix like a long-term trading strategy where you see this trade lasted 2 years or 2.5 years. So why would I bother, you know, trailing stop losses, computing all these like indicators, trailing logic, all these rules that, in my opinion, only make it more confusing. So why bother with that when I can just, you know, use moving averages and hold it, right? It's less stress. You know, over long periods it should work. So that's why I, you know, am more in favor of trading this way, because it's simple. And so yeah, that's I think I just justified myself. And sure, if you want to learn how to, you know, trail a stop loss, if you want, you know, to move like that, I've made some examples in past streams with trailing stop losses. Let me just see where I have such a trading bot, because I think in my past streams we've definitely, you know, we're covering that. So I'm just looking for trading stops. Otherwise, I can just show you on stream how to trail stop losses. Maybe like when we have like a breakout trade. For example, we get like a breakout trade. I think trailing stops are pretty good. So I'm talking about this, like this is a classic price action thingy, right? And this is what I wanted to also work on, is when you have like price action, right, in a defined range, and then it breaks out, right? So this is an example where I would, for example, like to apply a trailing stop. This is a ramification, so it is more like applied in momentum trading, right? And I think we will get momentum trading strategies very soon, because I've now like finished the breakout trading bot on the DE40, and now we're going to look at more like intraday breakouts where the trading stop might actually be very useful. So yeah, let's do that, because also if you look at let me just make this a bit nicer. That's so nice of your reliable tips that you're watching the ads, so I could benefit from it. I was actually thinking that, well, now that you've opened the topic, maybe I could make like a, more like a membership system, where you guys can have like an ad-free experience. So maybe you could, join the membership, and then I would be streaming more, member-only content with ad-free, so it would be more, like the viewing experience would be nice for you. But I think, right now I don't have that many members anyways, so maybe that's a thing in the future. So yeah, so just wanted to thank you that you're actually supporting the channel by watching the ads, even though it's not necessary, right? Usually I think whether you watch the ad or click on the ad, I'm not sure how the YouTube algorithm works, or how the revenues work, so we'll have to look into that. Martin asking, have you used RSI plus MACD divergence? I have hard times trying to code divergences. I used to work with RSI and MACD. I have written some simple backtests, but I've never really worked with them either. So in my opinion, I use mainly moving averages. Right? I think this is my favorite indicator to define market trends, so whether market is trending or ranging. And then I like to use highs and lows and like price densities, right? So basically, and I think we can start doing that like in the next stream, or let's see if I have time still today. I think I still have time today, but there is like a difference, right? If you have like a price range that's like this, or if you have like a price range that looks something like this, right? So here the price density is much denser, and here the price density is slightly low, but it's still like in a defined range. So what I'm trying to do now is like apply more price action methodologies, using highs and lows and potential trend lines to identify such scenarios and like get into like a breakout, right? So I think I am mixing a bit of like price action analysis, trying to code it into Python, and then applying simple indicators to filter things such as trend and direction. So I think this is more of my approach in trading, so that's why I'm not considering myself as a quant trader, let's say, right? So quantitative trading is very mathematical, and this is also like not very specialized. I'm trying to use common retail trading strategies that are being taught, backtesting them, and see what works actually. Sir, make my strategy will give 20 clients of MT5 under your link, so you benefit. I see they're very enthusiastic, but first I have to look at the email, see what you're offering, and yeah, not very sure right now. So yeah, we'll see. Okay. So I guess I'm just thinking. So right now I think I'm getting a little bit tired of the stream, so I'm thinking what we can discuss in the next upcoming stream. So the next topics, and I'm thinking let's open our spreadsheet here, and here we have our stream schedule. So tomorrow I'll be busy with something else, so I think my next stream I will be scheduling on Wednesday. And if anything happens, I would stream like tomorrow afternoon, maybe late afternoon, around 3 or 4 p.m. But I'm definitely going to stream on Wednesday. So it's I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see it. So 9th October 2024. Wednesday, let me just shorten it like this, looks better for Wednesday 14:00 GMT +2. And if anything happens, I'll let you know, guys, tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow around 3 or 4, if I'll finish early, I would stream tomorrow. So I'll just send a message on Discord. Actually, you know, I'm just going to, here I'm just adding maybe around like 15 or 15 to 16 or 16. So it's just maybe, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at price. Oops. We're going to look at. Somehow it keeps jumping. Price. Oh, because I think it maximizing it pushes it to right. So we're going to price consolidations, or more like, you know, price action patterns, price consolidations, and breakouts. So it's very closely related to my DAX breakout bot, but you know, the highs and lows on the DAX breakout bot have been determined based on the previous session high and low. But now we're actually looking, you know, at real price action patterns where we see, you know, some price density and how price ranges, right? If there's been, you know, multiple touches on some levels, and then we're going to back this and see if there is like any edge in regards to that. So this is going to be scheduled, and I'm going to create you know, a scheduled video right now. So I'm gonna schedule a new stream. I'm going to call it price action patterns in Python. Okay, so I'm scheduling the stream now. And it's going to be on the 9th. Okay, guys, so I have shared the stream now, so let me share the link with you, and I'm going to update you on my new trading bot. So now it's running live on my virtual private server, as you know. So once it opens any trades, I will let you know, making sure that everything is enabled here. Oh wait, right, so the bot is not enabled yet because I still need to create a demo account on Tickmill, where I'm going to create a small live account. And yeah, so that's basically it. So so that's one last thing. So before we say goodbye, if you want, please make sure to check Trading Labs. So I'm going to improve my channel, sorry, my applications continuously there. And if you want to support the channel, you can also consider becoming a member. And yeah, I'd like to thank you everyone for joining the stream today. So yeah, thank you for coming to a live stream, and see you guys hopefully tomorrow, if not on Wednesday. So bye bye. Music playlist is made by Streamlabs. So I'll give you more information next time. Right. Thank you. Bye everyone.